media commentary, media analysis. I listened to a very good Ezra Klein podcast episode over the weekend, across the weekend, entitled "When Is It Genocide?" And it's Ezra Klein interviewing Philippe Sands, and obviously the thrust of the episode is about Israel-Palestine, although also Philippe is trying a case in front of the ICJ at the beginning of next year. Gambia has accused Myanmar of genocide in relation to the Rohingya Muslims. But just parking the actual sort of political context right now, listening to him talk, I feel like there's a lot of yapping, and people watching this right now may say, yes, boys, there is a fair amount of yapping out there. You're guilty of it. But he is so reasoned and eloquent and interesting that I as a piece of media, it just really grabbed me, and I thought it was a fantastic listen. If you, as I said, regardless of its current political context, if you just want to understand about the kind of the history of international law, what constitutes a war crime, what constitutes a crime against humanity, what constitutes a genocide, and the two kind of the layers of irony amongst all of this. But these two Jewish lawyers who basically come up with competing terms for when it comes to Nuremberg, and they're essentially trying to figure out what it is they're actually going to charge the Nazis with, because until that point there is no legal precedent for the crime of aggression, i.e. an illegal war. And the battle to kind of these very competing terms and ideas of the crimes that the Nazis committed. This one guy Lemkin who sort of creates the term genocide, and he sort of views it from a group-based perspective, i.e. attacks on a group, and that's what the crime genocide refers to. And there's this other bloke who I think's name is Lauterpacht, who is more on a kind of individual basis, and it's like the legal arguments for the two terms. He talks about the history, talks about the application. It is fascinating. He wrote a book called East West Street, and he's got another book coming out. This will give you a sense of kind of his eloquence and intelligence. Sands, obviously, Ezra Klein's intelligent as well. At the end, Klein always obviously asks his guests to recommend 3 books, and one of the books that Sands recommends is a book by a Chilean author, and he goes, and it connects to the reason I recommend that is because it's kind of a source material for the book I'm working on now, which is the sequel to East West Street, which is about that kind of the history of genocide law, really. And it focuses on the relationship between Pinochet and an escaped Nazi who operates a king crab cannery in Chile. And that book is going to explore the theme of personal responsibility and atrocity, which in many ways has run throughout our entire conversation today, and also unifies the 3 books that I've recommended to you today. And I just thought, if you have his capacity to kind of draw all these things together, is really impressive. And if you do want to know more about the sort of debate around the use of the term genocide, it is obviously a very good primer and exploration of the arguments as well. It's a really good episode. Calling freelancers, small and mid-sized business owners. Tide's Instant Saver account offers up to 4% AER variable, flexible access, and competitive returns.
Unlike other options on the market, you won't need to hold your money with Tide for a fixed period. That means you'll have instant access and free withdrawals whenever you need it.
You can get started today with just £1, making it easy to start growing your business savings.
Want to know what you'll earn? Tide's Clever Calculator gives you a clear picture up front.
Our audience will receive £100 cash back when you deposit £5,000 within the first 30 days of opening your Tide Instant Saver account.
Use code JOE, that's JOE, JOE. New members receive an annual equivalent rate of up to 4% AER variable, free for 6 months. For the full offer, visit tide.co/Joe. T's and C's apply.
That's really interesting and instructive, and I think just a damnation of kind of British broadcast media of being how many magazine shows are there where they are scrambling for panelist guests every hour, and so you end up having a discussion about genocide in Myanmar with a loose woman and Tom Skinner. Like,
Well,
I know like TV producers do work really hard to get appropriate guests, and they might be busy and whatever.
Yeah.
But instead of spiking the segment, they're like, "Oh, who's the next?" Like I'm sometimes approached to do kind of TV stuff, and I very rarely actually accept it because I find it quite a disheartening experience because I remember doing one about like it was about the it was about before the big Palestine march that was going to be on Remembrance Day.
yes.
I was on Talk TV the week before, and I was like, "Oh, this would be like an interesting, good faith discussion." And then someone was like, "Everyone who goes on that march is Hamas," and I was like, "You know that's not true." It just made me sad. I was like, "Oh, that sucks." But so people are scrambling, whatever, and you do instead of people getting. You're getting just churn. You're getting, we need someone to talk about this for 20 minutes. And they aren't the best. They would never appoint themselves. If they were like, let me choose what to talk about, it wouldn't be geopolitical tensions. That's not their area of expertise. They might be like an expert in other things. Even like flagship shows like Laura Kay
Yeah.
have like people who have like experts in business. But what do they know about Trump and Putin?
Yeah.
And why should we care about what they have to say?
Just because you raise it, I've been on Laura Kay a couple of times, and I would
You never talk about it.
what I would say is that the way I've been booked to do that is there is a difference, because quite often when another, pick your sort of morning TV show, whatever you like, or a paper or a guest appearance on Sky, I don't know, and it's quite often retrospective in that they need someone to provide a certain opinion, and so they approach you and say, "We are looking for someone to argue X. Do you think that, or what do you think about this issue?" Whereas when I've done that on the Beeb, and I think because of the nature of it, as you've said, where it's like there is someone from business, there might be a comedian there. Joe Lycett may be part of the panel, or whatever. There is more of a look. These are the selection of stories we're going to be talking about. What are your perspectives on all of them? And then they try to create a sense of balance, across their program in that way, as opposed to, we need someone to come on and accuse Israel of genocide this morning. So, like, can you fulfill that purpose to us? Which, to be fair, like a lot of producers, they aren't quite. Some producers are that blunt, others aren't. But you know that even when they're asking, that is that's an accurate paraphrasing of the ask.
One of the funniest conversations I had with the producer once, I got a DM it was for Julia Hartley Brewer being like, "We have the perfect story for you," and I was like, "Right, what is it?" And they were like, "Civil servants are having a festive celebration, not a Christmas party."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Right, well, no, I'm not going to come on with Julia Hartley Brewer to just like, no." Also, I don't care about that at all. I don't, like, my opinion about that is so minor. Like, whatever she says, I would just be like,
no,
guess."
no, Mr. Campbell. We have identified you as woke, and you will be fulfilling a very important purpose on this 10-minute segment of the program.
We, as News UK, have decided that you need to get in the Wicker Man and feed the beast. And then eventually, I like declined that because I was also, you're scraping the barrel. Like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. So if you're looking for like prime woke candidate, pre-podcast, Ed Campbell was not top of the list.
No, absolutely not.
But then
bottom of the list in many ways.
But then they went lower, and I eventually found the segment. And it was Julia Hartley Brewer, like, ripping the guts out of some like 19-year-old student newspaper editor.
Oh,
It was, and he was like on Zoom reading off paper.
that's brutal.
Oh, it was savage.
Is it Wicker Man is they break Nicolas Cage's legs and they put the diver's helmet on him full of bees? Is that Wicker Man?
I don't think so. I think Wicker Man is the what?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty
one
sure
who
it is.
must not be named. Is that the one that's sort of set on a Scottish island? Wicker Man.
No, Wicker Man is not the bees.
Wicker Man is like a policeman goes to Scottish Island.
Nick Cage definitely gets bead.
But I don't think that's the Wicker Man. I think there's... Oh, what am I thinking
There's
of?
2 films.
Oh, sorry.
There's 2...
There's 2 Wicker...
and they're gay.
There's 2...
And Ed Campbell watches both of them because he's woke.
I respect
And-
people's right
Go on.
people's right to choose to be gay.
To identify with sort of paganistic, murderous rituals. Important update in that Midsummer, I believe. Is it Midsummer, the one where they go to the island and that guy gets put inside of a bear
Florence
and then
Pugh
set on
and
fire?
Will
Yeah.
Poulter, it said.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that film
Maybe we should do some hackneyed cultural analysis.
of Midsummer.
Films, yeah. Just that could be an hour, couldn't it? That
Which
could be an
podcast
hour.
about
Could do.
films?
Yeah. Thanks to Tide and their instant savings account for sponsoring this week's podcast.
New members receive an annual equivalent rate of up to 4% AER variable.
Our audience will receive £100 cash back when you deposit £5,000 within the first 30 days of opening your Tide Instant Saver account.
Use code JOE. For the full offer, visit tide.co/Joe. T's and C's apply.